guys, a personal little video for you. I've been thinking a lot recently about life and being grateful for how far I've come. I spent a lot of my life dealing with numerous quite traumatic issues. I was run over at the age of 5, where I had to go through the bodily trauma of that. During that experience, I had an incredible meeting with this scary entity during this out-of-body experience. I had to deal with an abusive dad. Let's just say it now, an abusive dad. An abusive stepdad too. On top of that, I had to deal with bullies throughout school. I had to deal with teachers that absolutely hated me for being good at what I did, for having that passion about life. That was, I suppose, the nail that needed to be beaten down, to be squashed. And over time, I just allowed life to hold me back, to stem my growth, and I felt like for a long time I needed to apologise just for existing. And it's not a nice feeling to feel. You feel so stunted and you feel like an unwatered plant, I suppose. And that in itself breeds anger and fear and anxiety and all these negative emotions over time. And it stops you being honest with yourself and being honest with the world. Through this podcast, I've been able to overcome my fear of the paranormal. And yeah, equally with the fear came the fascination as well. But I had a fear of talking about my own paranormal experiences because I know it's like that for many people out there. They're too scared to talk about it for fear of ridicule by their social group, by their religious group, by their family, by their friendship group. There seems to be this singular defined standard of what a person should be, what a person should talk about, and what a person should do. Yet there are billions and billions of souls on this planet, billions of souls that have individual parameters, individual abilities, individual assets, individual loves and hates and experiences that deserve to be shared with the world, because we become better by learning from each other. We can only learn from each other when we share those experiences. So there did come a point recently where I became more open. I started to lean into this trust that, okay, I have this story to tell, because I wanted to no longer be afraid of telling my dark story. And through this podcast, I've had the privilege to speak to many other people who've seen the most incredible things. And it's led me to question so many aspects of my own life, about life itself, about how to deal with people that have experienced things that maybe you haven't dealt with as well, with respect. And it's made me a far more open and honest person. It's made me far more respectful for the things that I do and don't believe in. It's made me more inquisitive and excited about life. And there was a time when I just wouldn't open up. And I always think back to those years that I spent just in fear for just being myself. I was bullied so much at school that my confidence was so low as well that I just felt like every time I stepped into that building, it was like a fight to live. I tried to not answer questions in classes, and I absolutely loved learning. I do love learning now. I mean, I love the smell of a lecture theatre. I don't know why, but I just love it. And I love the excitement of learning new things. That's what I lived for back then. But anytime I answered a question in class, I knew that meant like a week full of physical abuse, of mental, psychological abuse, of just numerous rumours being spread about me about the school. I became this focus of hate just for simply being good or being excited about something. And that's the thing, that was the running theme back then, was just, it's like that Japanese saying about the nail that stands up must be hit, must be returned back to level. And that was just the way back then. You could only survive by being as invisible as possible. So I would avoid asking questions after a certain point. I would make sure the grades, unfortunately the grades of my tests weren't as high as they could be. I did everything I could to not be celebrated for that time, because I knew that at the end of that 4-year period, I could then do whatever I wanted with my life. And that sucks. Those are 4 years that I'll never get back. And it was a good time of my life, really. Like, you know, I did have friends back then, but I was so overwhelmed with anxiety. I just didn't trust people. I didn't open to people. I didn't really fully have fun during that time. And yeah, this was from the ages of 12 to 16 years old. And as an adult now, I just see how people push each other back who speak about things that we do not understand. It's seen as an insult to question the world that's been set for us. And I've always wanted to ask why. Like, why do we use certain words that contradict the actual intended meaning? And, you know, it's like the word paranormal itself. I've always said that this is a misnomer. It's parallel to normal. Again, parallel to somebody else's normal. Who decided what's normal? So the word paranormal itself, it's simply a barrier set. It's saying, okay, do not go beyond this barrier because it's paranormal. It's in the fantasy area. Really what the paranormal is something that we haven't scientifically proven just yet. It's something that we can't explain just yet. So rather than simply saying, I don't know, we'll just say it's paranormal, or it could be magic, as people tend to use that word more in the past. So I suppose it's more of a message to speak your truth, to trust in those. And yeah, you're always going to get pushback. You're always going to get people saying horrible things. You are you, and you're responsible for you. People that have issues with you have an issue with themselves, not you. They're using you as a conduit, something to express their frustration, sadness, hatred for themselves. And that's a realization I came to a little while ago as well. I began to break free of the bounds that bullies had on me. And admittedly as well, those bounds I put on myself by allowing them to. That's part of the pushback. I had, an abusive male role model who would put down what I said. He would hit me at the back of the head whenever I said something that he didn't like. Anytime I had any success in my education, there was always a put down. There always was a sarcastic comment to be made. Never a well done or, congratulations. At the very least, to say nothing. I got used to that constant pushback, and I allowed that to make me feel like I should apologise for having any success in anything. I'm not exactly super duper famous. I'm not the most amazing person in the world, but I've made incremental changes that have taken a tremendous amount of effort to get anywhere. For example, I hated public speaking. I had a real phobia. For many years, actually, I used to get the shivers, I used to sweat, I used to have panic attacks, nightmares before just simply doing like a 10-minute university presentation. And for years, I used to avoid it, just like you used to avoid talking about the paranormal. One day, I thought, enough's enough. I got my head into books. I watched numerous lectures. I read, numerous books. I watched different podcasts as well to understand how people deal with quite complex subjects. Try to approach it in a respectful manner, but also pronunciation. I find I do have a physical issue where it's hard for me to say certain words or speak a certain rhythm in a way that's easier for people to understand, and that in itself has taken me years to refine, because I used to speak far more quickly than this, and people wouldn't. I would often I'd often chat to people and just say my thing, and then at the end of it they're just like, and they wouldn't say anything. It was like a really awkward thing, so then I'd end up repeating myself but saying it even faster because I began to get nervous. But yeah, then that was a bound that stopped me from saying what I needed to say too. I broke through that too over time, and through this podcast, if you look at the first episode compared to the latest episode, hopefully you'll see a difference in the way that I do this thing. And now I don't get scared to speak out, and I may not say things perfectly, but at least all my videos are honest. When I speak to all these amazing people, I think, how lucky am I to speak to this person on the other side of the world, even about quite a passionate subject, passionate for them, but also I'm passionate about too. And we can share that love of understanding the unknown and understanding each other. And it doesn't matter like what family you're born into, people will always push against you being your true self. When I started this YouTube channel, this so-called family that I was part of, just because I released a video, at the time I was just testing things out, trying to see how my pronunciation came across, to see how well the presentation was. I needed to practice camera work, recording the audio, just doing a few things. I released it, and it was just a careers advice video, and I was really proud of it. At the end of it, I thought, okay, it could be a lot better, but it's a lot better than I thought it could have been, and it was a good start. I felt proud of that. Straight away, a few members of the negative side of my family, I want to say, who responded with saying, okay, this person, he's just egotistical, he's just doing it for himself, that's why he's releasing videos. They never listened to what I spoke about, and They knew my story about what I've been through, like the bullying, the issues with public speaking, fears and anxiety, depression as well came as part of it. And I was just trying to release myself from this bound that I've been in for many different years. Yet somebody who knew me particularly well thought, okay, he's probably doing it for ego, yes, because he wants to be famous. I don't care about being famous, and I guarantee that I will not be famous. I do this because I'm trying to set an example for others to speak out about the most fascinating part of life, about the unknown area of our knowledge base, about the areas beyond the parameters set for us, and owning the unknown ultimately. And also, set an example for others that you can speak, you can learn to speak. If you're not great at speaking and don't have confidence, you can get confidence. So if an idiot like myself can do it, you can do it too. There are all these different things that I wanted to do through setting up this podcast. And yeah, at the time I thought, I was kind of a bit heartbroken really that they responded that way. And I thought, well, this is a reflection on them. It's so simple. People get jealous when you do things if they have the wrong mindset. And this is also a lesson about the circle that's around you. Have friends and family around you, but you choose who stays around you. You don't have to offer loyalty to people that don't offer you anything in particular. That's good in life. If a family member hurts you continuously and you give them warnings, you don't have to keep them in your life. You may meet them again in the future, maybe in a better place when they've maybe evolved a bit more, quite frankly. But yeah, you don't have to have these people around you. And this is a great lesson in that. So with me kind of starting this podcast, I began to realize he really has good intentions for me, and I still wish them all the best and all the love in the world, because nobody's perfect. We all make these mistakes, and that's the thing. It's about being the bigger and better person too. It's like, not saying I'm bigger or more important than you. I'm not more important than anybody at all in the world. It's about being the better person, being the kinder person, being the more forgiving person, setting an example, and offering them an opportunity for them to join you at that level of vibration of positivity and learning and progression and such. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed conversation, I think, really, but at the heart of it is speak your truth. You got a truth in there. There's a whole life you've lived so far up to watching this video, and you have a wealth of experiences that form you as you are in the here and now. You on this day will never be the same tomorrow, the next day, the next month, the next year, and so on. You, this particular period of time is a culmination of all of the knowledge that you've gained so far, all of the experiences you've had so far. Wouldn't it be a shame to not share that with the world, how beautiful you are as a person? And that's the thing, like, we all withhold for fear of judgment, and once we remove the whole societal expectation out of the picture, you're unlimited. Anybody can say anything to you. It doesn't matter.